beautiful friends, and welcome to day 2 of our May releases. So today I'm using a set called Piggies. So I took 3 different cardstock colors and I'm cutting out dies with them. And I used our banners die, and then I used a little piece from our quad collage die. So I cut out all the pieces in the 3 different colors. And then I'm using the stamp set called Splotches and Distress Oxide ink to stamp on the right-hand side of the card where I'm going to eventually attach the image. In the stamp set Splotches, you get 7 different splotch images, and they come in various sizes, from the bigger one that's the teal color I just stamped with to the smaller one like the yellow. There's actually one that's even smaller than the yellow that is just some little droplets that you could add to your card. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish stamping these, and then we will move on to stamping our image and then coloring them. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and stamp her on some Copic paper, and I'm just using Memento Dewdrop ink in Tuxedo Black. And I went ahead and prepped the stamp before I stamped it, and so I only had to stamp it one time. And to prep my stamp, I'll just use a baby wipe it down, and then I use an eraser and go over it lightly with the eraser to get off any chemicals from the manufacturing process. And then the sentiment I used is dance to your own beat. And I think this goes perfectly with her. I also think it would be kind of cool if you did her in like black and white, like a punk rocker. This is more like a 70s girl. So for the pig, because she's a pig, I didn't want to go with like the skin tones I usually use, which is in the E, like the EO2s and whatnot. So I went with the ROOO, ROO, and RO2. Now, I did color her before, and I believe I went with RV 10, 11, and 13. And so she turned out to be like a hot pink pig, and that didn't work very well. So this time I used the ROs, and I think the color turns out a lot better. And then I went in and just gave her kind of like a blondish hair color with a little tint of brown in it. The RV20, YR24 really gives you kind of that more of a kind of blondish brown. And then because she is a 70s pig, I had to give her teal eyeshadow because that's fun. Right? And in the 70s, that was fun. Go all out, be very colorful. So I'm just working on her clothing, and I wanted to make sure that I really got the like creases in clothes and the shadowing in clothes. So I just go ahead and I went over it with a BG13 just to get the base color down, and then I come in with the darkest, the BG18, and I start getting that color laid down, and I just go over in spots where I think the shadowing would come from. So like under her breast, and then the bottom of the clothing, and then like in her armpits. And then I also did along the bottom of her breasts too. And then also in the pants where the creases would be. And so I get the BG18 down, and then I come back in with some BG15 to start blending in that BG18 color. But I didn't want to blend it too much in some of the areas because of the shadowing that goes on. And then I finish up with some BG13 to finish that blending. And then for the oranges, I'm using YR02, YR04, and YR07. And so I did her little headphones. I did them in the teal color and the orange color. I was going to do them in the yellow, but then I'm like, well, her hair's kind of yellow, so it might blend in a little too much. And then for the yellow, I just finish up her little pants with that little bit of yellow stripe in there, and then her little locket. And then I'm going to go ahead and I cut her out. I wanted it to be cut out just perfect, so I made a template to make sure that the die was lined up just right when I cut her out. So as you see, I'm putting together the card. So I made the card base the same size as the white paper, and I took scissors and rounded the two bottom corners of the white paper. So you just see a little bit of that yellow base sticking out along the edges there. And then I go ahead and I foam tape the sentiment and add it to the card. And then I'm also going to add foam tape to her to pop her up to give her some dimension from the card. So after I get her attached, I grab those pieces I cut out at the beginning of the video from the quad collage, those little like confetti looking pieces, and I'm going to randomly add them around where the splotches are and then also on top of the sentiment. So a really long time ago, I bought that Embelly jelly, and I don't think it's actually working right anymore because it was picking up the pieces, but then it would wouldn't let them go, or the pieces would fall off. So I need to find a better kind of stick tool to help with little pieces like this. So I'm just randomly adding the little confetti pieces to finish up my card. I am pleased as punch with how this card turned out. It turned out better than I imagined. I think this might be one of my favorite cards that I've ever made. So tomorrow is our final day of our May releases, and the set is called Puppers, and it features puppies, of course. So hopefully you'll join us here again tomorrow for the final set. And the release is this Friday, May 7th at noon Central Standard Time. So if you like this video, make sure you like it and subscribe, and we'll see you later.